All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 11th Board of Education meeting. I call the meeting to order and just ask that we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business is the budget hearing. So, I guess we, consistent with New York State law, the Board of Education must conduct a budget hearing at least 7 days, but not more than 14 days prior to the scheduled budget vote on May 18, 2021. Members of the committee will have an opportunity to comment on the proposed budget. So I will open for anybody present. Anybody have a comment on the budget? Seeing nobody here, I can't see. I'm going to have to go out, come back into the meeting for some reason. It didn't launch. I don't know. Do we have any?
So we have some attendees. You're on right now.
Yeah, I'm not here though. I'm just getting. Hang on. I'm getting. Your meeting should start in a few seconds, and it didn't open.
Although I'm seeing you,
Yeah,
when you
seeing
move your.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Do you have it twice?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me go to this one. Oh, I see. Okay, very good, thank you. All right, so now let me open up to go to participants. So does anybody from the public, attendees, have anything that they wish to comment on the budget? I will ask you to raise your hand and we will call on you. I'll give it a minute or so. And if anybody does. Okay, seeing no one raising their hand, I guess I will close the public hearing on the budget. And do we adopt it, or didn't we adopt it last time? Okay, very good. All right, then can I get, are there any board committee reports? Cheryl?
I just wanted to say that the Community Relations Committee met last week, Monday, for the final planned meeting of the year. Lots of great ideas and input on graduation, which was and different moving up ceremonies, which was something that we discussed. So with the PTAs who were present at the meeting had a lot of ideas and input based on their community, so that was a big part of our conversation, as well as, of course, the upcoming budget vote and trustee election. I also just wanted to shout out to everybody on that committee for their commitment this year to community relations. It's a great committee that we worked with parents. All PTAs have reps and lots of members of the community from Lake Isle, the library, the town hall. So thank you to everyone who participated in our community relations committee this year. Maybe there'll be another meeting if something comes up, but I just wanted to extend my appreciation to everybody. Thanks.
Also, the audit committee met to discuss the technology audit that was done. There were a couple of recommendations, and we're going to get further one. Oh. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, the audit committee met. We met to discuss the technology audit. There were a few recommendations, some easy procedural, some Lisa's going to get back to us as a whole to discuss. It's a matter of finding software and whether it's worth the money, and we're going to assess that and pass the decision. Okay.
Anybody else? All right. And then I guess I'll turn it over to the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you. So this is that time of year with the budget planning completed. Now we turn to implementation. So we've started to look at the staffing components and the structural components that we would need to start, posting for, hiring for, thinking about, planning for this upcoming school year. We are, as part of that, looking in the special education department. I know Noreen, Dr. Urso has been working with our staff and our parents and really talking that through. And I know at one of these meetings previously, we discussed, and heard some public comment around some co-taught classes in the mathematics department at the high school. And we will be placing one geometry co-taught classroom into place. And there is a sort of a pilot going on right now in conjunction with the staff to look at doing that for algebra as well. So that the meetings are ongoing and more planning is needed, but we're right in the middle of that and we're excited about that. Also, in terms of planning, we're planning end of the year celebrations. A lot of school districts like we are going through the process of looking at what is available under the guidelines that both the New York Department of Health and the governor recently started talking about as we're looking to reopen. So, right now I think it's fair to say that each principal is working really in two directions. First, with the stakeholders at their school, the parent committees at their school and their teachers, to try to think about what's the best way to hold the celebrations that we traditionally would have held indoors, because the indoor numbers are capped. And looking kind of in the other direction, from a school district administration, and I'm thinking about the Community Relations Committee, where we heard a lot of input about what parents generally kind of want to see. They want to see something different than the drive-through, something that signifies and feels more like what we've done traditionally, something that allows parents and students to participate together. In order to do that, we're going to need to be outdoors. So it's a matter of working within the numbers, making sure that we can get the numbers and the weather and all the contingencies to cooperate, but we're on our way. We're really on our way with some nice, I don't want to get into too many of the details quite yet, because some of those things will be, worked out over the next few days and then will be announced. But I would say that is the general, trend that we're looking at. Try to have outdoor ceremonies that work within the guidelines. Now those guidelines may continue to evolve between now and the end of June when we'll be having these, but it's been a good process of working through that, and we'll continue to do so. We're excited about the vaccination clinic that is happening tomorrow at Pelham High School. I want to thank the superintendent in Pelham, Dr. Cheryl Champ, for working together with the superintendents in Tuckahoe, Brownsville, and Eastchester. We all worked together through some conversation to try to figure out how we could have a pop-up vaccination site that would serve the entire broader community and bring in at least 100 people to be vaccinated. My understanding is there are 150 people who will be vaccinated, not all of them from Eastchester, but a number from Eastchester. That, if you're interested, if you're watching or listening and you're interested in participating, it's for anyone 16 and up in the community. Can go online on our website. Also, you can see the link where we've emailed you the link a couple times. You should have received that through an email. If you haven't seen that email, please check for an email from the school district from me. Then you can go on that link and you can sign up to participate and get the vaccination tomorrow. It's particularly helpful because for our graduation, we're going to need to make sure, because that'll be such a large number, that we're going to need to make sure that everybody is tested or brings proof of vaccination. It's kind of like going to a baseball game. You've got to come in with some proof, and it takes a little time. So most adults, I think, are in that mode, but we'll have to make sure all of our students are rapid tested or have had those same criteria applied. And so we're working on contingency plans to make sure that everyone who wants to participate can participate. And so we're going to continue to work on that. And so this vaccination would be really helpful, because if you get it done tomorrow, you get the next one on June 2nd. If you're a student, you're good to go. No matter what you need to attend, no matter exactly what that ceremony ends up looking like, you'll be good to go. And I think that's going to be important. So please consider that. There's still room there for that. Continuing to do some, initial searching and posting for a new principal at Greenville. As you know, Dr. Daryl Stinchcomb has accepted a position as an assistant superintendent for curriculum instruction and equity at Dobbs-Ferry. We offer our congratulations to him. And we will be beginning to look for a process to find a successor there. And our STEM supervisor, Dr. Jared Blair, who is moving into the director of instruction, I believe in Croton, or director of technology, I believe in Croton. Thank you. So those also are positions we'll be continuing to look to fill. Strategic planning began about a week and a half ago. We had our first strategic planning meeting. We have our next on June 18th. I want to thank all our community members and staff members who joined us to make that a really good time and really a great kickoff as we begin to think about the future of education. And a lot of good thinking and literature to begin to review, to think about what our graduates are going to need, in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years as they go out into the world of work. I think that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
It's great to see the strategic plan finally starting to kick off. It's been a long time coming, and it's definitely been a priority of the board, so I'm glad to see it's starting to come back to normalcy, so to speak, and be able to get things like that done. And to all of our eligible students, I would say, please, if you're eligible and you haven't yet been vaccinated, tomorrow would be a perfect day to do it. Especially seniors, particularly seniors, if, it obviously makes graduation much more manageable. But even to all of our eligible students who aren't yet, please go out and do it. It kind of helps us all get back to some sense of normalcy, which is what we're planning for next year. All right, Steve, do you want to move 6, 7, and 8?
Sure.
Oh, 9? Well, 9 is... Oh, I'm sorry, 5. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped 5. 5, 6, 7, and 8. I apologize.
Yep, absolutely. So I move that we approve the minutes for the April 20th, 2021 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the personnel agenda as attached. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the placements as recommended by the Committee on Preschool Special Education and the Committee on Special Education. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the agreement to extend the transportation contract with First Student for the 2021-2022 school year, and that the Assistant Superintendent for Business is authorized to execute the agreement on its behalf. Be it resolved, I'm not reading all of this, right?
No.
Be it resolved that we
Award the contract with
Yeah.
GTS.
that we award the contract to, what was it?
GTS Construction Corp.
GTS Construction Corp, there it is, GTS Construction Corp, as listed and attached. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints R.S. Abrams & Co. LLP as external auditors for the 2020 to 2021 school year for a total cost of $34,000, including the single audit for an extra classroom activity fund audit, and authorizes the execution of the engagement letter. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve budget transfers of $10,000 or over for the month of May 2021. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby accepts the report on internal controls pertaining to the cybersecurity cycle as submitted by Milwaukee Smith for the 2029 to 2020 school year. Be it resolved that the Board of Education establishes a reserve fund for the retirement contribution service as listed. And be it resolved that we create a sub-fund for TRS as listed. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the following tax certiorari settlements for the 2020-21 school year as listed, and that the Board of Education approves the payment of the corresponding tax certiorari judgment from the reserve for tax certiorari if funds are available. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following warrants as attached. And be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints the following election inspectors, chairpersons, or registrar as follows, as written.
Thank you. Tara, can I get a second?
I second.
All right, any questions, comments? Cheryl? Go ahead.
Okay. So let me go back to the,
It's still muted on my side.
I am,
Yep, there you go.
all right. Just a couple quick questions. So I noticed in the personnel recommendations, there's a rescission for modified wrestling, and it prompted me to want just an update on what happened with the wrestling season.
Yeah, I can speak to that if you like.
So if you recall, the wrestling season originally, when it came up, under the health guidelines, most districts were not electing to hold it because of the requirement for a mask and the specifics of trying to wrestle with a mask, the choke hazard and other things that were associated with it. So at that time, that was the second of 3 seasons we were holding. That was the one season, the one sport we said we were not comfortable moving forward with. At that time, we did hear some public comment, expressing concern about that and disappointment with that. And the board gave me some direction, I believe, at that, afterwards, saying, if there's anything that we can do to try to make something happen for the students so that they can have something approaching a season, under the guidelines, or if there ever becomes any opportunity, please consider it. Because, frankly, it was very disappointing for me and for all of us to not be able to do it. As it turned out, the wrestling coach and the athletic director, after some conversation amongst themselves, with me and with some of our families, came up with a proposal to begin to create a season of sorts, sort of an intramural season, if you will, within the 3rd season, this current season we're in, to be able to have some wrestling meets internally, having activities that allowed you to begin the match standing, and then when there was a takedown, the match would cease, so that dealt with the mask concern. And also just a number of workarounds that they came up with, really building on the ideas that some of the students brought and that the coach brought. And so I gave the green light to go ahead and begin those. We instituted the season, sort of as an intramural season, not as an inter-school, because that's not possible. We missed that season. But it's a facsimile of a season that is really seeming to meet the needs of students, reasonably well under the circumstances. And kids are pretty excited about, and coaches are pretty excited about. So that's where we stand right now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that we were able, am I unmuted?
I had to mute you because it was echoing. You guys.
Okay, sorry. Thank
What
you.
else?
I wanted to get that on the record, and glad that we were able to do something for the students, and students really did come to the meeting and brought some great ideas, and so glad we could implement those. Quick question also on the ARIS recommendation letter. At the bottom of the first page, it says the above contract is within the bond budget for construction. This is coming from a transfer to capital. Am I misreading it? Like, that was it threw me off when I read that. This is for the partial roof replacement, right? So I just wanted clarification on that.
Yes, you're correct. I guess they made an error, a typo there. It's not a bond, it is a transfer to capital. You're correct.
All right, thank you. And finally, the cybersecurity report. Just wanted to ask that we could get an update on how the district plans to respond to the recommendations. I think it's mostly 2 through 7, not now, but at some point, if we could hear about that.
So just to update you on that, the district has 90 days to create a corrective action plan to address these and get it filed up with the state. So Bill and I will work to come up with a corrective action plan that directly speaks to the comments the recommendations that were raised. And it will come to the board, but it'll go to the audit committee first, then it'll come to the board for acceptance, and then it'll go up to the state. So don't plan to take the 90 days. I'm thinking sometime in June you'll see the corrective action plan come through.
Thanks, thank you.
Anything else? Erin, did you have something? No. Oh, sorry. Vito, did you have a question?
Amazingly, I have no questions.
Oh, I thought I saw you raise your hand, I apologize.
I wanted to say that I had no questions.
Oh, okay. Wow, I appreciate that. There you go. All right, anybody else? Did I miss anybody? All right, very good. In that case, can I get a motion to approve I'm sorry, not a motion. Can I get a vote? All in favor? Sorry, I'm a little slow tonight.
It's okay, it's okay.
All right, and that was unanimous. And so future meeting dates, May 18th, which is also the date of the annual budget vote trustee election. So please let me remind everybody to vote. Towards that end, I want to thank the PTA Council for the event last night under difficult circumstances. While I don't think it was optimal for anybody, or anybody that participated would say it was optimal to do it virtually, at least we were able to have something for the community. So I want to thank the PTA Council for all the efforts that went into that, as well as the League of Women Voters for moderating it. And so a big thanks to them for all the effort that went into that, and to all the candidates. I wish you good luck, and don't forget to vote. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn to, I'm sorry, I guess future comments from the public? Seeing no one here, I guess, yep.
Just make one.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to clarify, really for the general public, there seems to be some confusion about registration status. So if individuals are registered to vote with the Board of Elections, and you voted in the last election, you are registered to vote for the school district election. I've been inundated with a lot of people calling. There's been a bit of a rumor going around, so I just wanted to clarify. But of course, if you have any questions or concerns, if you want to know the status of your registration, you can always reach me directly at extension 4211 in the central office, and I'll double check it for you.
Do you want to unmute yourself?
Oh, yes, and also as a reminder, we only have one polling site. It will be the middle school gym, and that is for all residents of the district, including Garth Road. There will not be a separate location for Garth Road.
You weren't unmuted for any. I'm sorry, you have to repeat that.
No? Okay. So we'll only have one polling location, that is the middle school gym. Garth Road residents will have to vote at the middle school gym. We will not have a separate polling location this year at Garth Road. Thank you.
About the registration issue, do you need to repeat that?
None of what you said.
Oh, none of what I said. Okay, we'll start again.
Something was picked up by Rob's mic and I hit the,
It went out over live stream, but nothing here.
Okay, so just to repeat that, there were some concerns. I know there was a rumor about the status of your registration for the school district election. If you are registered with the department, with the Board of Elections, and you voted in the last general election, you are registered to vote for the school district election. If you have any concerns or you're questioning your status, you can reach me at extension 4211. But there was a rumor out there that if you did not register directly with us, you're not registered, and that's not true. If you're registered with the Board of Elections, you will be fine to vote next Tuesday.
You could probably also look up online whether you're registered with Board of Elections. So unless you did it for the first time, 25 days ago, when it's not in there yet, then you can check first online to see if you're registered. If you are registered, there you're registered.
Let me just add something really quickly. I'll just add my thanks to the PTA Council for hosting last night's event. And also a shout out to Daniela Ayala, who was our timekeeper, high school student who was our timekeeper last night, and hung in there for the entire 3 hours and did a nice job.
I apologize, yes, I didn't mean to leave her out, absolutely. She deserves all the credit in the world, especially because that was a difficult thing to do. Vito, yes.
All right, I just have a question on the event last night. Does anybody know how many people actually dialed into the Zoom event? Because that feature wasn't available for a participant from home. And I was wondering if anybody knows how many people watched it?
It did say the attendees. At one point, there was 337 attendees.
337, all right.
The audience didn't see that.
Yeah, and it was only for a short period of
Well,
time.
but that's fine.
It was at least 200 on.
I mean, judging on the fact that we have 5 people attending this meeting as attendees, I find that was very encouraging, that a lot of people got to meet the candidates. So that's a good thing, and I just wanted everybody to know that.
It was recorded, so maybe we'll get it put up on the website or with PTA council link or something like that, in case anybody else missed it. I know I personally was driving while listening to it, so.
I believe it's already online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone posted it on the Eastchester groups.
Okay, perfect. All right. Any other comments from the board? All right.
I just
Yes,
have a quick comment.
go ahead.
I just also wanted to thank everyone that attended last night and all the candidates. It was great to see so many people. What did Aaron say, 337 people was the high, so I think that's incredible, and I hope everybody comes out to vote on May 18th. Thank you.
All right, I don't know if I skipped comments from the public, so if anybody from the public wants to comment, feel free to raise your hand and we will unmute you. Give it a minute or so. As I was told, always give it a second or two longer than you think it will take. And seeing nobody, I'm going to close that session. And then can I get a motion to adjourn into executive session? I'm just, for personnel, there you go. All right. Cheryl and Aaron second. All right. All in favor? Very good. Thank you, everybody, and good night. Good luck. Stay safe, and don't forget to vote. Thank you.